What's up? It's Aidowan here, and today I'm gonna talk about Russian houses, the houses where the people live in. Actually, I'm gonna talk about houses in Moscow. The typical buildings that every person who lives in Moscow sleeps and eats and do some his home stuff. And these are the houses. This house, and this house, and that house, and this house. They look actually the same. Right now we're at the part of the city that is very close to city borders. A lot of people live in this part. So there are buildings, typical buildings. They have either 9, either 5, either 14 floors. These buildings were built about 40 to 60 years ago, and they were built in the USSR. As most things in the Soviet Union, the houses are not creative at all. The main idea was to make a lot of houses where people can live in and make it cheap. That's why the houses look the same, and they actually have the same like 7 or 9 apartments in them. The same rooms and the same kitchens, the same toilets. Everything looks alike. Entrance in the house, and these small windows are the stairs that go along the elevator. And as you can see, there are some balconies, and it's a very long house. So it's either this, either that house, the very long house. But actually the planning of the apartment is still the same. Owners of these flats usually are grandpas and grandmas, which got these flats because they had an old wooden buildings, wooden houses, like 50, 70 years ago, when Moscow didn't have such a big houses. They have wooden houses, and when they were broken, government decided to build big houses. The people who lived in the center in the wooden houses, they got these flats. So now they're like sons and daughters of that. Grandpas and grandmas are actually the owners of these flats. The situation in Russia itself is a bit different. The people are still living in the wooden houses, and there are not so much buildings like that in the country itself. Of course, around Russia there are some houses, townhouses, and like houses where people can live, but they're super expensive. That was Aidowan. Tell me what you like about this video, and see you next time. Bye!